Good evening, all of you. Let us start with the next topic in this chapter, that is about the prism. तो अभी आज कल के और आज के लेक्चर में हम पूरा जो चैप्टर है तो उसका एक रिवीजन फॉर्म में फटाफट देख लेंगे फटाफट, जिसके अंदर कल हमने लेंसेस एंड मिरर्स के बारे में पूरा सब देखा था। तो आज के लेक्चर में हम जो प्रिज्म और आगे का जो डिस्पर्शन का जो कंसेप्ट है तो उसके बारे में देखेंगे डिटेल में। Yes. Okay, so let us see this prism, concept of prism. Whenever the ray of light just gets refracted through the prism, the incident ray makes an angle I with the surface of the prism. Then R1 is the angle of refraction, first refraction we can say. R2 is the angle of second refraction, second surface के साथ जो refracted ray angle बनाता है उसको R2 हम डिनोट करते हैं, और E जो है उसको हम बोलते हैं एंगल ऑफ इमर्जेंस, एंड डेल्टा इज एक्चुअली कॉल्ड एज द एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन, विच इज द एंगल बिटवीन इंसिडेंट रे एंड इमर्जेंट रे डायरेक्टली। सो अभी इन चारों के बीच में जो एक रिलेशनशिप होता है हमको पता है ऑलरेडी, विच कैन बी डिराइव्ड एक्चुअली एंड इट कैन बी प्रूव्ड दैट। अब ये डेरिवेशन ऑलरेडी हमने देखा है रेगुलर में, और उसका रिजल्ट यही हमको मिलता है कि सिंपली A plus delta is equal to I plus E, or we can just say that this delta is always equal to I plus E minus A, which is the equation for delta here. And using this delta, and if we see the variation of this delta with respect to I, then we can just get that the curve, there is a curve in this way. So angle of deviation जो है वो it goes on decreasing first, then becomes minimum, and then again goes on increasing further as the angle of incidence is increased. And there are two values of angle of incidence for every value of delta corresponding to it. Okay, so for every value of delta there are two values of angle of incidence corresponding to it, and each of these values are just alternatively the angle of incidence and angle of emergence. तो मतलब ये फर्स्ट वैल्यू का जो एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस होता है वो इधर का एंगल ऑफ इमर्जेंस बनता है, और इधर जो एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस होता है वो पहले वाले का एंगल ऑफ इमर्जेंस बनता है। तो अल्टरनेटली मतलब एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस एंड एंगल ऑफ इमर्जेंस जस्ट चेंज देयर रोल्स, alter their roles, and there is only one value of delta for which is minimum, ठीक है ना, which is minimum, and at that time when this delta becomes minimum, the I becomes equal to I E, मतलब angle of incidence and angle of emergence becomes equal. This is going to be the basic fact about the prism, and using this we can just get the expression for prism formula. So prism formula can be derived if this delta becomes minimum, then in that case the A becomes equal to 2 times of R, and in fact delta M becomes equal to 2 times of I minus A, or I becomes equal to A plus delta M upon 2. And using this, if we use the Prism's law, Snell's law here, then we can just get that refractive index of the material of the prism to be simply equal to sin I upon sin R. But as we all proved that I is going to be A plus delta M upon 2 and R is going to be A by 2, so we get this sin A plus delta M upon 2 divided by sin of A by 2 as the final value of prism refractive index, which is called as the prism formula. Okay, and for the thin prism, sine of any angle is always equal to the angle itself, and that's why we can just consider the ratio of angles simply and get the refractive index to be simply equal to A plus delta M upon 2 divided by A by 2, which happens to be simply refractive index into A by 2 is equal to A plus delta M by 2. So that 2 gets cancelled, and this equation when simplified further gives us simply delta is equal to refractive index n minus 1 into A. That is the expression for the angle of deviation for through a thin prism. तो thin prism की वजह से जो लाइट का जो डेविएशन होता है तो उसके लिए ये फॉर्मूला हमको मिलता है। यस, सो दिस इज द डिस्पर्शन ऑफ बाय द प्रिज्म। तो किसी भी प्रिज्म के अंदर से जब व्हाइट लाइट पास होता है तो it gets split up into 7 constituent colors, and this splitting of white light into its constituent colors or component colors is called as the dispersion. So here in case angular dispersion can be measured by just subtracting the angle of deviation of violet color minus angle of deviation of red color. So angular dispersion is the angular separation between the extreme colors, we can say. Yes. Okay. So angular dispersion is the angular separation between the extreme colors, that is delta y minus delta r. This is the formula for angular dispersion. But this can also be written as delta v. Delta v can be written as mu v minus 1 into a, and delta r can be written as mu bar minus 1 into a, and delta y can be written as mu y minus 1 into a. And using this, we can just get the angular dispersion. So angular dispersion is going to be delta v minus delta r, but it can also be proved to be equal to mu v minus mu r into a. And again, dispersive power. Dispersive power is the property of material actually. So it is the angular dispersion upon the deviation of mean color. That is, जो angular dispersion जो होता है delta v minus delta r, and that is to be divided by the deviation of mean color, which will be actually called as the angular dispersive power, we can see. So the dispersive power is given by the simple formula, that is here, omega is equal to delta v minus delta r upon delta y. Okay, where delta v minus delta r is going to be mu v minus mu r into a, but delta y जो है, delta y can be written to be simply equal to mu y minus 1 into a again, so that this a gets cancelled, and we'll be left with omega, that is dispersive power, to be simply equal to mu v minus mu r upon mu y minus 1. And if mu y is not given in some cases, then we can just be able to get this mu v minus mu r divided by average of these two, that is mu v plus mu r upon 2 and minus 1 as it is. And even in this case also, this delta y may not be given in some cases. Then in that case, we can just be able to put this as delta v minus delta r, and that is to be divided by the mean of these two, delta v and delta y. So, and that's all. So this delta v plus delta r upon 2 will give us delta y indirectly. So this is the formula for dispersive power, remember. Okay. Sometimes deviation without dispersion is considered. तो सपोज डेविएशन, हमको डेविएशन तो चाहिए लेकिन डिस्पर्शन नहीं चाहिए, मतलब the light should not disperse into the 7 constituent colors, but it should get deviated. So in that case, we just use the inverted pair of prisms, due to which the dispersion will just get cancelled and deviation will be effective deviation will be found out here in this case. चलो ये वैसे भी एक्चुअली आपको सिलेबस में नहीं है, just forget about this. Yes, we have this rainbow. तो रेनबो का जो कंसेप्ट है, एक प्राइमरी रेनबो और सेकेंडरी रेनबो, ये तुमको पता होना चाहिए. जिसमें प्राइमरी रेनबो जो है, इट इज द इन दैट only one total internal reflection takes place. Okay, and it's the ray of light traveling from the small raindrops just suffers from refraction, then total internal reflection, and then again refraction. And hence the observer can see the 7 different colors in the sky. This is the formation of primary rainbow, which is observed at an angle 42 डिग्री. ठीक है, मतलब 40 डिग्री से लेके 42 डिग्री तक हमको वो रेनबो दिखता है. But in case of primary rainbow, the sunlight enters from the top, then enters into the raindrop, just gets refracted and incidents at a next surface at an angle which is greater than the critical angle, and hence suffers from total internal reflection there, and again reflects back and just gets refracted in the outside, and hence we can say that these different colors have different wavelengths. And since the refractive index of the water is different for different colors, so the different colors bend through different angles, and different colors travel different paths, and that's why the dispersion takes place and rainbow is formed. The secondary rainbow is formed when the ray of light enters into the raindrop from below. ठीक है, इस तरह से ये अंदर की तरफ, नीचे की तरफ से अंदर जाता है. It suffers from total internal reflection twice inside the raindrop, and then comes outside, and hence just get dispersed, and we can see the rainbow in the sky. But in this case, since the total internal reflection appears twice or takes place twice, the intensity of the secondary rainbow is going to be less than the intensity of the first primary rainbow, and also the order of colors in the secondary rainbow is reverse to that of the order of colors in the primary one, just because of this reversal. ठीक है ना, जो यहाँ पे प्राइमरी रेनबो के अंदर क्या होता है, जो ये जो रेज है वो ऊपर से ट्रेवल करते हैं और नीचे निकल जाते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे क्या है कि नीचे से ट्रेवल करते हैं और ऊपर जाके फिर वापस नीचे आते हैं. तो ये इस तरह का क्रॉस फॉर्म करने की वजह से ही ऑर्डर ऑफ कलर्स उल्टा हो जाता है सेकेंडरी रेनबो के अंदर. ठीक है, so in this way, and this secondary rainbow is observed at an angles from 50 degree to 53 degree, remember. And then scattering of light. What is scattering? This irregular reflection of rays of light by the surface of irregular surface. जो irregular surface के ऊपर जब कोई भी ray of light incident होता है तो अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में वो बिखर जाता है. So this ये जो बिखरना जो है तो इसको ही स्कैटरिंग बोला जाता है. एंड स्कैटरिंग की वजह से ही हम लाइट का, सन का जो कलर है वो सन हॉरिजॉन पे जब होता है वो तो ऑरेंज कलर का होता है, और जब मिड डे पे होता है तो व्हाइट कलर का हमको सन दिखाई देता है. तो उसका जो कलर है वो चेंज होने का भी रीजन जो है वो स्कैटरिंग के बेसिस पे एक्सप्लेन किया जा सकता है. So even blue color of sky can also be explained on the basis of this scattering only. Because violet color is more scattered than the red color. This is actually called as Rayleigh's law of scattering, which tells us simply that the intensity of scattered light is actually inversely proportional to the fourth power of wavelength of light, and this is called as the Rayleigh's law of scattering. And this law gives us that the violet color is having the smallest wavelength, and that's why it gets scattered more than the red color, and that's why we get the color of the sky appears to be blue predominantly. Okay. Yes, here we can see the optical instruments and the magnifying power. ठीक है, तो ऑप्टिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हम देखते हैं कि माइक्रोस्कोप, टेलीस्कोप, ये सब ऑप्टिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है. इनके मैग्नीफाइंग पावर्स हमको ढूंढने हैं. ठीक है, तो मैग्नीफाइंग पावर ढूंढने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है जो जिसको बोला जाता है डिस्टेंस ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट विजन, which is the capital D, which is the minimum distance at which we can see the objects without strain on the eyes. And this is the distance of distinct vision, which is almost about 25 centimeter. Remember. And what is visual angle? The angle subtended by the object on the eye is called as the visual angle. Remember. And if suppose theta is the visual angle and h is the size of object, and if it is kept at the distance of distinct vision, then we can just see that theta can be written to be simply equal to h upon d. That is the visual angle can be written to be simply h upon d. No doubt. Abhi magnification is defined as the ratio of image size to object size. ये तो हमने already देखा है, already हमको ये पता है लेंस के बारे में. ओके और उसमें भी देखते हो कि आइज के बारे में भी ये थोड़ा सा हमको जानना है जरूरी कि आई के सामने भी एक लेंस होता है, ठीक है. जो लेंस जो है उसका फोकल लेंथ एडजस्टेबल होता है, याद रखिए भाई ठीक से. देयर इज अ लेंस इन द आई एंड द फोकल लेंथ ऑफ द लेंस आई लेंस इज एडजस्टेबल. दैट मींस द आई कैन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, eye muscles can contract and adjust themselves so as to get a desired focal length, but obviously they cannot adjust the focal length beyond a certain limit. एक पर्टिकुलर लिमिट से बहुत ज्यादा देर तक वो ये नहीं कर सकते, फोकल लेंथ उसका एडजस्ट नहीं कर सकते. दिस प्रॉपर्टी इज कॉल्ड एज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एकोमोडेशन, ठीक है ना. ये जो हमारा एकोमोडेशन का जो प्रॉपर्टी है उसकी वजह से हम अपना जो आई का जो लेंस का जो फोकल लेंथ है वो एडजस्ट करके लेते हैं. And retina, it acts as like a screen. Okay. Yes. So normal eyes, if you see, the parallel rays just converge at the focus of the this focus of the eye lens, which happens at actually at the retina. Exactly. तो ये जो distance है आई लेंस का वो इस तरह से एडजस्ट किया हुआ होता है कि जो पैरेलल रेज आते हैं वो सीधा जाके रेटिना पे इंसिडेंट होते हैं और रेटिना ही फोकस पे होता है, फोकल डिस्टेंस पे ही रेटिना होता है. तो उसकी वजह से इमेज जो है वो रेटिना पे फॉर्म होता है और वही इमेज हम देख पाते हैं. अभी ये तुमको पता होगा 10th स्टैंडर्ड में तुमने देखा है मायोपिया और हाइपरमेट्रोपिया क्या होता है, ठीक है नहीं. क्योंकि कभी कभी क्या होता है कि जो आई लेंस की वजह से जो इमेज फॉर्म होता है it forms at the near side, मतलब कम डिस्टेंस पे, फोकल लेंथ से कम डिस्टेंस पे वो, मतलब सॉरी रेटिना से कम डिस्टेंस पे फोकल लेंथ आ जाता है जिसकी वजह से वहां पे इमेज फॉर्म हो जाता है और उसकी वजह से हमको वो इमेज जो है वो ब्लर दिखता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ मायोपिया, which is also called as a short sightedness. It can be removed by using the lens of concave lens of suitable focal length. तो लेंस क्या करता है, इन रेज को डाइवर्ज कर देता है और ये डाइवर्ज करने के बाद फिर रेज जो है वो सीधा जाके रेटिना पे बराबर स्ट्राइक करते हैं और उसकी वजह से ठीक से इमेज फॉर्म होता है और हम क्लियर देख पाते हैं. द सेकंड इज द हाइपरमेट्रोपिया इन विच द इमेज फॉर्म्ड इज बिहाइंड द रेटिना, ठीक है. तो इमेज जो फॉर्म होता है वो रेटिना के पीछे फॉर्म होता है जिसकी वजह से फिर से हमको वो इमेज जो है वो ठीक से नहीं दिखाई देता. तो इसको रिमूव करने के लिए क्या किया जाता है, एक कॉन्वेक्स लेंस यूज किया जाता है जो लेंस को ऑलरेडी कन्वर्ज कर देता है और फर्दर इट्स these rays are just further converged by this eye lens actually, and we get the desired image at the desired point and or the retina, and hence we can see clearly. Yes, this is the simple microscope that is we have to discuss about. So basically simple microscope is simply the lens when the object is kept within its focus. Okay, so you can see when a small object is placed between the optical center and the focus of a convex lens, its virtual erect and magnified image is formed on the same side of the object, and this principle is used in the simple microscope. So यस, तो 25 सेंटीमीटर डिस्टेंस जो होता है उससे भी कम डिस्टेंस पे रख के भी हम इमेज को इनलार्ज करके देख सकते हैं. ये देखो, सपोज दिस इज द ऑब्जेक्ट ए बी प्लेस्ड एट दिस पॉइंट within the focus, and then the image of this object will be formed behind at a particular point, and the magnified image, direct image, will be formed, and this image will be called as a dash b dash. And even if this object is there uh, within the distance of distinct vision, but still image will be beyond the distance of distinct vision, and hence it can be seen clearly without any strain on the eyes. So if we just get this as u, that is the object distance, and capital D is going to be the distance of distinct vision where the image is formed, final image is formed, and f is going to be the focal length of the lens, suppose, then we can just be able to get the expression for the magnifying power of the simple microscope, which is going to be the angle subtended by the final image on the eye to the angle subtended by the object on the eyes directly. So if we just take the ratio of beta to alpha and use this all these terms, then we can be able to get that the main formula for the magnifying power is simply, see here, this is the main formula for magnifying power for the simple microscope, which is d upon f plus d upon v here actually. And if we just see its extreme cases, ये extreme cases इसके अगर हम देख लेंगे तो हमको पता चलेगा. तो अगर सपोज ये इमेज अगर डिस्टेंस ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट विजन पे फॉर्म होता है, नियरेस्ट पॉइंट पे अगर फॉर्म होता है, तो वी कैन गेट द मिनिमम वैल्यू, सॉरी मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ द मैग्नीफाइंग पावर, which is going to be 1 plus d upon f, which is the maximum value of magnifying power. We can get the magnifying power maximum by keeping the image nearest to the eyes. Nearest means obviously not less than distance of distinct vision. So that's why. And when the image is formed at infinity, in that case we get the least magnifying power, but no strain on the eyes. तो हमारे आंखों के ऊपर बिल्कुल भी स्ट्रेन नहीं आता है, लेकिन मैग्नीफाइंग पावर का जो वैल्यू है वो थोड़ा कम हो जाता है, जो कि d upon f से हमको मिल जाता है, because here d upon infinity is going to be 0, and that's why we are left with d upon f as the formula for magnifying power here in this case. Now we can see talk about the compound microscope here. So in case of the compound microscope, the principle here is that the image formed by the objective acts as a object for eyepiece, and the image is double magnified. दो बार उसका मैग्निफिकेशन होता है, और ये उसका टेंटेटिव डायग्राम है जिसमें ऑब्जेक्टिव इज ऑफ लेसर डायमीटर एंड लेसर फोकल लेंथ, but eyepiece is with greater diameter and with larger focal length, and focus of objective is denoted by FO, the focus of eyepiece is denoted by FE, and if suppose the object is kept at a distance u from the objective, then its first image will be formed at a distance v from it, and we can call it as I1. This image actually acts as an object for the next lens, that is eyepiece, and it forms another image of that object behind, and this image will be the final image of the object, which will be very much magnified. You can see in the diagram that the final image formed here is very much magnified. It's 2 times magnified, double magnification होता है वहाँ पे, और उसकी वजह से मैग्निफिकेशन हमको बहुत ज्यादा मिलता है, और मैग्नीफाइंग पावर भी बहुत ज्यादा मिलता है, जो कि एक्चुअली बीटा अपॉन अल्फा के बराबर हुआ करता है. अगर हम देखेंगे ठीक से तो ये बीटा जो है यहाँ पे, इट इज गोइंग टू बी द इमेज, the total angle subtended by the final image on the objective or eyepiece, and if you just compare it with the alpha, then we'll be able to get the magnifying power of this compound microscope. So finally अगर ये सब कैलकुलेशंस अगर हम करेंगे तो उससे फाइनल हमको क्या आंसर मिलता है, तो देखो मैग्नीफाइंग पावर ऑफ कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप is going to be the product of magnifying power of the simple microscope, that is objective, and the magnifying power of the eyepiece actually. Okay, actually magnifying power जो है कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप का, तो उसके लिए हम ये डिनोट कर सकते हैं, देखो किसी भी कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप का जो मैग्नीफाइंग पावर है उसको हम बोलेंगे सपोज MC, which is actually going to be the product of the magnification produced by objective, which is denoted by small mo, multiplied by the magnifying power of eyepiece in this way. And here magnification produced by objective can be written to be simply equal to VO upon UO, and magnifying power of the eyepiece can be found out to be equal to D upon VE plus D upon FE, no doubt. So this is the formula for magnifying power of a compound microscope. But as we already know that this VO cannot be found out easily. ये VO जो है, or even VE also can never be found out easily. So in that case, we'll have to use this another formula. तो अगर यहाँ पे हम VO को अगर eliminate करने के लिए try करते हैं, तो उसके लिए हमको लेंस इक्वेशन यूज करना पड़ेगा, जिसको यूज करके हमको ये इक्वेशन मिलता है FO अपॉन UO माइनस FO, ये बन जाता है हमारा मैग्निफिकेशन प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्चुअली, which can be obtained by using the lens equation, where lens equation is simply 1 upon VO minus 1 upon UO, but since UO is negative, we can get this positive here and equal to 1 upon FO. इस पूरे को अगर हमने UO से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो यहाँ पे UO आ जाएगा, यहाँ पे भी UO आ जाएगा और यहाँ पे भी UO आ जाएगा, तीनों को हमने UO से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो यहाँ पे UO कैंसिल हो जाएगा, और ये जो ये 1 अगर इस तरफ डाल दिया तो हमको मिलेगा UO अपॉन VO इज इक्वल टू UO minus FO minus 1, and then UO upon VO can be written to be simply equal to UO minus FO upon FO, so that the reciprocal of this can be obtained to be simply equal to VO upon UO equal to FO upon UO minus FO. Okay, so this is what we want to find out here. तो ये फॉर्मूला अच्छी तरह से याद करके रख लो, और यहाँ पे ये जो D अपॉन VE है और प्लस D अपॉन FE है वो तो एज इट इज रहेगा, लेकिन इसमें हमको याद रखना है कि इसके भी दो एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज हमको मिलते हैं, मैक्सिमम एंड मिनिमम. इफ यू वांट MC maximum, then we can afford some strain, but we want maximum magnifying power of the microscope, then we can get this FO upon UO minus FO kept as it is, and here it will be 1 plus D upon FE replaced here. That is the maximum value of magnifying power of compound microscope, which is obtained only when the final image is formed at a distance of distinct vision, no doubt. But if suppose the final image is formed at infinity, then the compound microscope का जो minimum value हमको मिलता है, तो it can be found out to be simply equal to FO upon UO minus FO once again into simply D upon FE only, in this way. And this is actually happens only when VE becomes equal to infinity. That is, the final image is formed at infinity in this way. So these are the formulae for finding the magnifying power of compound microscope, in fact, actually. Then next we can say, yes, then next last is telescope. तो telescope के अंदर क्या होता है देखो ठीक से. In case of the telescope, the objective is of bigger diameter, whereas the eyepiece is of smaller diameter here. अभी उसमें ठीक है, तीन अलग अलग टाइप के टेलीस्कोप होते हैं, एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल टेलीस्कोप, टेरेस्ट्रियल टेलीस्कोप एंड गैलीलियन टेलीस्कोप. Not to study all these three, but just सभी टेलीस्कोप का बेसिक फाउंडेशन या फंडामेंटल यही होता है कि when the object is at infinite distance, the rays are parallel, almost parallel to each other, and these parallel rays are converged at the focus of the objective here and form the image of objective at point A dash B dash. Okay, and this image A dash B dash acts as an object for the eyepiece, and hence we can see that these rays and this image is formed at focus of eyepiece also, and hence means ये एक ही point जो है वो objective का भी focus है और eyepiece का भी focus है, मतलब objective का focus और eyepiece का focus दोनों का focus एक ही point पे लाके छोड़ दिया जाता है ताकि जो ऑब्जेक्टिव का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव की वजह से जो एक इमेज पैदा हो जाए, वो इमेज आईपीस के लिए एक ऑब्जेक्ट के जैसा काम करे, और वो ऑब्जेक्ट एक्चुअली आईपीस के फोकल लेंथ पे रह जाए, और फोकल लेंथ पे होने की वजह से उसका नया इमेज बने जो कि इन्फिनिटी पे फॉर्म हो। तो उसकी वजह से हमको इन्फिनिटी पे इमेज हमको देखने को मिलता है, और हम ये देख सकते हैं। एंड इन दिस केस द अल्फा is going to be the angle subtended or angle made by the parallel rays with the axis of the eyepiece or objective, and beta is going to be the angle made by the uh, final rays with the axis of the eyepiece or objective, obviously. So alpha and beta can be found out to be simply equal to h upon fo and h upon fe. You can see here. So here the magnifying power of the telescope actually can be written to be equal to beta upon alpha. ये उल्टा हो गया है, वो करेक्शन करो यहाँ पे. It is beta upon alpha, not beta tan alpha upon tan beta, but it is beta upon alpha. So if we just use this beta upon alpha here, ये थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया है. Yes, see here. In this case, and in case of the telescope, we can see the magnifying power can be defined as beta upon alpha. But as we have seen it in the diagram, that beta happens to be h upon fo, fe, and alpha happens to be h upon fo, and h gets cancelled, and we get the magnifying power of telescope to be simply equal to fo upon fe. Okay, and that's why the objective is of bigger focal length, and eyepiece is of smaller focal length. And one more thing is to note here that this fo plus fe is always equal to L. That is the length of telescope in case of the telescope here. Remember, तो इन दोनों का फोकल लेंथ जो है, उन दोनों का सम कितना होता है? The length of telescope के बराबर हुआ करता है. Okay, बाकी ये तो तुमको सिलेबस में वैसे भी नहीं है. Just forget about that. This is also not there in your syllabus. Yes, okay. So that's all. Yes, बाकी स्लाइड्स के अंदर सिर्फ क्वेश्चंस है. ठीक है. So let us try the questions in the next lecture. Okay, क्वेश्चंस जो है वो सब हम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में ट्राई करेंगे. मैं आज आपको एक पीडीएफ फाइल भी भेज दूंगा जिसके अंदर कुछ क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे, एमसीक्यूज रहेंगे, जो आप घर पे ट्राई करना. तो उसमें अगर जो भी आपको आते हैं वो तो ठीक, जो नहीं आते हैं वो हम नेक्स्ट टाइम लेक्चर में डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है.